Tschüss.
Ma mi senti? Ti lascio che è arrivata la...
Ciao. Going. Going.
עובדים על זה, כאילו אתה יודע, אני כל הזמן צריכה שהשפה תהיה מושלמת, ואז אני קצת רוצה לעבוד על זה. זה על המקטע כזה שבאמת צריך באופן מאוד אקטיבי, כאילו, צריכה ללמוד. יכולה לחכות את המקטע.
ברוכים הבאים לגן הלאומי מצדה של רשות הטבע והגנים.
Welcome to Masada National Park.
African rift is going down. We are still all the time going down. Yeah. But you know, a few millimeters a year. Yeah. But after millions of years, we get everything. I will explain this, okay? I will tell you what we'll get up to.
Entrar a la fortaleza, una mirada del lugar de donde subimos, ¿sí? campamentos romanos que acá también son rurales, chicas, todo.
Unajua panaitwa Masada. 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 Naitwa Masada, njoo hapa. Sasa nikaja mnachomea jinsi mambo yalivyo. Masada. Si vitu viko.
Hã?
Deixa passar, amiga, deixa passar.
Oh, sorry.
Masada. Naona Dead Sea njoo ile. Dead Sea njoo ile kule nyuma.
Guys, so welcome to Masada. The refuge, anyone who need somewhere to get hide in. So the first one to use it as such of thing was King Herod. Okay, King Herod the Great, the one who built the Temple Mount in Jerusalem and the harbor of Caesarea, and next to Bethlehem, an artificial mountain, so-called Herodium. Okay, everything that King Herod did is great, magnificent, like, you know, opposite the way that God thought it should be. If it's Temple Mount, okay, there was mountain and he made it flat, okay? Caesarea, the biggest deep water harbor all over the Mediterranean Sea with no any natural gulf, okay? They made underwater coast, and that's something genius of those times, like, you know, like using cement and so on. Here in Masada, paradise in the middle of the desert, okay? We will see later there are two palaces here. One that you can see up there on the hill, so-called the Western Palace, and the Northern Palace that I showed you from the bus. It's in the north. We will get a visit there later. All the mountain, all the block, okay, is surrounded by wall that we can see here, is so-called casemate wall, which means that there are actually two walls divided to rooms. So most of the people that lived here actually lived in the wall. So inside Masada we don't see much constructions. There are, but according to what we could see, it's quite empty. So actually most of the people lived in the water. There are different facilities here, like bathhouse, two of them, swimming pool in the south, okay? Everything that we see, the highest luxury, the highest standards of the Roman indoor design and outdoor design, whatever it is. And just to remember where we are, in the middle of the desert, on this block, 400 meters high from the bottom, okay? So most of what we see here, constructions, buildings, and so on, is from the time of King Herod. We're talking about the years 37 to 4 BC, okay, before Common Era. after King Herod died, this place was, there was a few Roman soldiers that kept this place. And then we get into what we call the time of the Roman government or governors or the prefects, okay? Because they don't have the title king, okay? They kind of governors, president of the Romans. And what they used to do is to collect taxes from the population, send what they could send to the Romans and leave themselves their cut. Okay, and that was, let's say, the last chance to earn any money. They couldn't get any promotion later. After this job, they retired, and this is the last chance to earn money. So most of these people actually were quite greedy people, greedy guys that didn't invest too much in the population, and mostly tried to take as much money and as much reward that they could. Maybe you heard about one of them, that his name was Pontius Pilate, okay, the guy who judged Jesus. He is a little bit unique, like he's special from all the others. He came here for quite some time, was here for about 10 years, and we know that he actually built things, he continued to build things that King Herod didn't finish, okay? But he's very unique from all the others. Anyway, we jump to the year 65. AC, okay. The name of the prefect was Gaius Florus. Again, quite greedy guy, and you know that all the other that came before him, you know what they did, so he wanted to do the same. And what he's doing, he went into the temple, the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, and he demands, give me the money, give me the treasure, I want it all and I want it now. That was, let's say, trigger for what we call the beginning of the Jewish revolt against the Romans. Okay, the Jews didn't like this kind of behavior, and they start to fight against the soldiers of Florus. Okay, and this is the beginning of this revolt. Now, in this time, the Jews were not like very solid. Like today, actually, you know, there are different groups. Different way of interpretations of what is the meaning of being a Jew. So we can count more or less 4 different groups. One of them is the Saddocians, mostly the priests in the temple. They got a lot of donations, they were very rich, and they ruling the temple. Okay, part of them, there are the Pharisees. The Pharisees, most of the population, and the rabbis and so on. And part of them, there are 2 more small groups, but very radical. One is the Isis. They were, let's say, they didn't want to mix too much with other people. They prefer to live by themselves. And the so-called Sicaries. The Sicaries is quite a radical group of Jews that they got the name from, they used to keep, let's say, kind of a knife, short knife. It was called Sika. And if they found something that they didn't much like, you know, they were walking around the people in the street, and they found it, they take the knife and chunk, stabbing someone. It start to be a mess. Say, oh, something is dead here, something is happening, and then, you know, in all of this mess, they going around. Very radical people. And they hate the Romans. They don't like the Romans. They don't like the Roman culture. They don't like the paganism of the Romans, and this is why they fight against the Romans. So about 5 years of this revolt ended when the Romans decided to finish down with it. They suffered a lot of casualties, and they sent here 3 legions that came to Jerusalem and destroyed the temple. Okay, but 3 years later, the year 73, there are still rebels here. At the beginning of the revolt, 65, they went from Jerusalem, arrived here. They fought against the Roman soldiers that were here, and took this place. So 3 years after the destruction of the temple, they are here, and then the Romans decided that enough is enough. They came here, they made a siege all around Masada. Okay, during this siege, they built a ramp, okay, on this side of the of the mountain over there. We were going to see it later. And on top of the ridge, on top of the ramp, they built a battering ram that broke the wall. And when they came inside, they expected to fight against the rebels, and no one was there to wait them. All the rebels, about 1,000 people, were actually dead. Okay? So what happened to them, how did they die, and what happened with all of the story, we'll try to understand it later. Anyway, we will start now walking. Just remember that most of what we see here, the buildings, the walls and so on, is from the time of King Herod. The story of the rebels is about 70 years later. Okay? Great. Ready to go?
Yes.
Let's go.
I got you.
Things like a lot of ingredients, products to make the royal meals, okay, of the king and all the people who lived here. Okay, you see it's very big, and the thing that was found here, a lot of amphoras, if you know, like a big jug that they used to contain olive oil and wine and other things. Everything was imported from Rome, or anyway the best delicacies of the Roman Empire, like something that was called garum. It's kind of a fish sauce that probably King Herod, that was one of his favorite dishes, and it's imported from Rome. Okay, King Herod, he grew up in Rome. He was a Nabatean, half Edomian. These are Arab tribes from this area, from the area of Jordan of today, and the Negev here in Israel. But he was educated in Rome, so he is living like Roman style. Anyway, from the time of the rebels, we don't find much things that were imported from Rome. We do find a lot of kind of grains, you know, like wheat, like different kind of beans, hummus, okay, chickpeas, that maybe they made pita with hummus, I don't know. And one of the things that was found here a lot is thousands of date seeds, okay, which means that big part of their diet was dates. Okay, and as you saw, there are a lot of dates here. And the thing is that this place, you see, we are in the winter, but it's still sunny, and the air here is quite dry. So a lot of organic materials that maybe in other places will not survived here. Now, one interesting thing that, during the research they decided, because they found the seeds in quite good condition, let's say, but still very old. So they took, there was a kind of botanical research, when they took a few hundreds of date seeds, put them in a nursery, okay, with all of the irrigation and fertilizer and so on. And one day, one of these seeds, one of these dates, took out green leaves, and they made a whole tree out of it. Okay, and this is amazing. It's 2,000 years old date seed. It's still growing. Okay, so this is something quite impressive. The reason to this research was to find out what was the original date of the Judean desert, or of Judea. In the desert there is not much date, but of this area, because the dates that we see today here, for example, the famous majhul, actually come from Morocco, and other kind of dates come from other countries like Iraq, like Iran, Egypt, and many other. But what was the local date of Judea? Okay, so in order to make fruit, we actually need two trees. Okay, one is not enough, especially if it's a male tree, because we need a male tree and female tree. And this tree was male. They named him Methuselah, because of the oldest guy in the Bible. And they planted him in kibbutz next to Eilat called Keturah. But it's not the end. About 2 years ago, they tried again, and they made another tree, and congratulations, it's a girl. They named her Hannah, and since the last time I heard about it was 2 weeks ago, they already have babies. Okay, so we have a whole family of the dates of the Judean desert of Judea, and if you want to taste it, you need to go to Keturah next to Eilat, and you can try. I didn't taste it yet, but maybe one day I will. Okay, so this is date that came from here, from Masada, and still alive 2,000 years after the whole thing. Okay?
Una buona specie di compenso.
That was a watchtower, a tower. From there, the guard was looking around. Who is not necessarily here?
Of the Roman army, quite typical Roman siege system. Okay, that we have the camps here, and we can follow the wall that's running down all the way, and we see like a piece of a wall and pile of stones, another piece of wall, another pile of stone, all the way down, and over there in the corner we see another camp. Okay, this pile of stones, it's watching towers of the Roman soldiers. Okay, 8 camps in total surrounding Masada from all around, and the amazing thing is we can see it here because let's say the Romans did the same in other places, but here because it's in the desert, there's no plants on it, so we can actually see it. It was almost didn't, no one touched it. Okay, why should they? So it just we can see it how it was 2,000 years ago, and it's quite amazing. Okay, now just to understand that down there a whole region which means about 8,000 to 10,000 Roman soldiers, well armed, well trained, the best war machine of time, and kill everyone that they see, and just finish it like this. Okay, up here 1,000 rebels. Not all of them are fighters. Some of them, there are kids, there are women, and so on. Roman soldiers, then the rebels. Okay, and this is how important it is for the Romans to finish down with anyone that tried to make any resistance against the Pax Romana, the Roman king. Okay? And again, to provide all of these soldiers down there, that we are now in the middle of the desert with no water. Okay, the only source of water now, it's hard to see, but it's actually En Gedi, where we were before, about 16 kilometers to the south. And if you look down, you see kind of a bright path. Okay, this is the road that probably the Romans used to bring water and supply from En Gedi. Okay, so this is the Roman siege. Okay. Now again today a little bit hazy air, not a little bit, like very hazy. Anyway, we see the south of the Dead Sea, okay, or what left from it so far. The Dead Sea losing from its level about more than 1 meter from its high every year. Okay, it's quite a lot, mostly because of human activity that started long time ago in what we call the Dead Sea industry. So who asked me about the pool? So you see the Dead Sea is down there, and you can follow the tunnels that bring the water from the Dead Sea to the pool. There are two pools here, one over there, this is the Jordanian, okay, and the other one
Against Nazar Ben Yair, the first thing the Romans did was build a siege
okay, this is the Israelis. So the Israelis and the Jordanians using
all the way around, and every few yards you could see a kind of barge.
from the Dead
That
Sea.
would be a platform.
Anyway, when we look down, we can understand that this it's something that started a long time ago. But today is actually faster because of this industries. They're using it, you know, for
7 camps all around.
kind of heavy industries like fertilizers, explosives, laundry salts, and this kind of things. Many other things. What will happen with the Dead Sea? Maybe I will talk about it later. But anyway, important to see it. We can see it. So anyway, we are right now.
Che tragedia. Ma è intendimento. Facciamo da
Okay guys, so we see here the model of the Northern Palace. And if you remember, I told you that there is the Western Palace here. And here is the Northern Palace, so why do we need two palaces? Okay? So the reason is that this is kind of an inner bunker. Okay? Masada is a bunker, is a fortification, fortress. Actually the name Masada, the meaning of Masada in Hebrew Metzada, the meaning of it is a fortress, okay? So this part, the Northern Palace, is actually separated from all the other parts. You see this wall here that protects it, okay? It's a high wall, very hard to climb it, and the only entrance is from there, from here, okay, where we just went in, and then we have 3 terraces. Okay, there are 3 terraces that separated from all the other by very narrow staircase. Okay, so to get from the upper one to the second one, again, it's not very easy. Like not a big group of soldiers can go inside, and also from the second one to the third one as well. Okay, so this is like the stronghold of Masada, an inner bunker and the top secured area of the whole thing. Okay, so we are now standing here in the upper terrace, and let's take a look from the balcony over here. So guys, we see here the two other terraces, and down there we see another Roman camp. And we can follow the wall, the climbing slope of the cliff, and the only part that they didn't build actual wall is the cliff itself. Up there we can see the wall keep running, and here we see a big Roman camp. Okay, we can see the entrance in front of us. Near to us, we see the entrance to the camp, and inside we see another wall. Okay, an inner wall. This is the residence of the officer, Ratu Silva, the commander of the 10th Legion, was staying there, and this is the main camp of the Romans. Over there we see another one smaller, and we can keep follow the wall that's running all over. Okay? Now back to the time of King Herod. We're talking about hundreds of people that live in here. Bathhouses, swimming pool, all of these. We are in the middle of the desert. Everything here is dry. So the question is, where the water come from, right? Okay, how do we give water to all of these people? Okay, so if you remember, we just saw that we started today in Jerusalem. We went down all the way, okay, from 800 meters above sea level. Here we are in around zero, okay, 400 meters down there, and here we are now on sea level, more or less. So, if here it's not raining, up there we have peaks that sometimes can be more than 1,000 meters above sea level, okay, next to Hebron. And the water will all the time get to the Dead Sea. So what the engineers of Herod's actually did, you see this small valley down there. These are restorated. But these both are original. Okay, again guys, we can see that the floor is built on this column. Okay, that means that there is gap under the floor. Okay, the furnace down there, they make the fire, and the hot air goes under the floor and through these tubes. Okay, on the wall, and this is how it gets in. We can still see this black color. This is the ashes of the fire. Okay, so this is the Kalidarium, the hot room.
So guys, right here is where they used to fire the wood. Okay, so that and then that used to be the stones. All right, used to be a second floor here, and that's how they used to get the